Hi, you're listening to Meeple, uniting players from around the world. I'm PJ,
I'm Gareth.
and today is a very special episode. We have our very first guest ever. It's Richard Kuplin, the owner and CEO of Folded Space. Richard, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Hi to everybody, and thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
This is a very special episode for me because, as our tagline, uniting players from around the world. I'm in the US, Gareth's in the UK, and you're in Bulgaria. So I really appreciate, it's like 11 a.m. here, but it's like 7 o'clock at night your time, and we're just
That's
spanning the
right, yeah.
times, and I love it. I love it. So thank you again. So why don't we just jump right into it? And why don't you tell us a little bit about the new insert you've got coming up for Frosthaven? Because I know everybody wants to hear about that.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, yeah, the Frosthaven insert that we call FS Frost is a great place to start because it's really the biggest thing that's happened in folded space for a long time, and it's very representative of what we're going to be doing in the future. So we were contacted last summer by Cephalofair and asked to make a insert for Frosthaven, and we agreed with them to make a full color print insert for the whole game. With optionality for player trays, and then they also asked us to make an additional product to store, organize the map tiles from the game, which we're calling
Wow.
FH Map. It's a map archive, and so the two products together basically give you a complete storage solution for Frosthaven. And yeah, it's the biggest insert we've ever made. We've made a few color inserts now. I think there's around 8 or 9 to date, but this is by far the biggest with the most impact. It's going to reach the most people. There's already 25,000 backers in the campaign. They're going to get this insert, which is awesome. And then there's a lot of people also going to get the yeah. You're one of them,
I
PJ.
am indeed. I'm
I
one.
can see you jumping. Yeah, and yeah. So a lot of people are going to get it, and then we're gonna put it out into retail, and so we're going to reach a bunch of people that we haven't reached before. So we're super excited. I think I could say hand on heart that it's the best insert we've ever made.
Okay. Yeah.
It's beautiful. It uses designs from the game's map tiles, from the rule book, from all the elements of the game. It's easy to use because it tells you everything, what goes where. It's very intuitive. It's easy to build. It's very, very light. It weighs less than a kilo. I think it's less than 800 grams when it's fully assembled. And so the game already weighs 14 kilos, so that's kind of important consideration. You get the optionality for player trays, and so yeah, it's a really good complete solution, and it's kind of getting to this point where, in my opinion, the game looks incomplete without it. Shall we say?
Nice.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things with Gloomhaven and all the wooden solution I have in that box. It's even heavier, but the appeal of your storage solution is that lightweight part. That makes a significant difference.
Yes, it's a big draw that we have. I have a lot of respect for the companies that make wooden inserts. We're very good friends with a number of them, and some of the things they make are incredible. But yeah, it's very heavy. It's hard to build, and at the end of the day, the price point. Yeah, I mean they're quite
Yeah.
expensive. So I mean, our insert for Frosthaven is going to be €55, and the competition's 110, 120. So that's quite an important factor. And once then you take into the fact that it's color, it's lightweight,
Mhm.
it's yeah, I think we got a good package. So I think a lot of people are going to enjoy it.
So, did you learn any lessons from your insert for Gloomhaven, and other than the color, doing things differently with Frosthaven than from the first run?
Yeah, definitely. We learned one of the key things that Frosthaven has that I don't think is in the base Gloomhaven are these dividers for the cards. So we factored those into the design of the trays for cards. So all the card trays have space for sleeved cards. You can sleeve all the game or cards in the game, and they'll still fit in the insert. And now with these dividers that you put in, you can separate the decks as you go through the game, so you can see where you are in the progress. the game, and which items are available, which are not, which are purchasable, which are not. We also reorganized how the monsters are stored. So you have smaller monsters in one place, medium monsters in another, large monsters in a third place. And then with the color print, we can add color images of the monsters themselves on the trays. So you immediately see what goes where when you're trying to put it all back in the trays. The player trays are a big thing. Our Gloomhaven insert doesn't come with player trays.
Yep.
And so the Frosthaven insert that we've made, it can be used with or without the player trays. So if you don't put the player trays in, there's space to store the map tiles inside the game box with no lid lift. Alternatively, you take the map tiles out, you put them in our map archive folder, FH map, and then you can add the player trays. And there's 4 player trays in different colors using designs from 4 of the 6 starting players, characters, and yeah, that adds a lot to the game. So. When you get it out and you get out the map tiles and you get the game out and you get out all the pieces, all of the trays fit into the design of the tiles, fit into the design of the game. It really sends it off. It's really something different. Yeah, it's something worth checking out.
I love the idea of the monsters and the images on the storage bit. The put away time that must save a huge amount of time.
Yeah, it makes
What's
a big
the
difference.
most
It also
challenging
makes the
part?
trays look really good. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. What was the most challenging part of designing a storage solution of that scale?
I mean, we have a lot of experience with making these inserts now, so we know. We've made the Gloomhaven one, but we've got 150 products now. We've made ones for big games, for small games, cards and tiles. The design process was relatively straightforward. The problem we had in reality was that this game was not ready. It wasn't ready until the spring of this year, and we started the design in October last year. So there were things changing as we were making the design, and that's always a challenge, yeah. And we constantly got this fear: oh no, they're going to change something, it won't fit. But we had good communication with Cephalofair; they're really great guys, and we managed in the end. We came up with a great product that fits the final version of the game.
And it does. It looks fantastic. You had mentioned you're using the color, and that's kind of like your new product line. So I want to switch topics a little bit and talk about that. Tell us more about the color line of inserts, because I think they're amazing, and I want more.
Yeah. No, we want to make more and more of them. We just came back from Essen Spiel, so we were in Germany for a week. We were there 4 days at Essen Spiel, and we talked to loads of companies, more companies than ever before. All of them want full color print. They want full color designs. I literally had the experience where I walked into Hall 4 to buy a cup of coffee and came out with 2 games that people had put in my hands and say, make an insert for this.
Make an insert. Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite different to when because I've been going for 6 years to Essen. It was very different before when I was going around and kind of sneakily, quietly buying games so they didn't see who I was. And, it's, So the color, I think, is awesome. It really sends off the insert. And it's something I wanted to do since the beginning. But in order to do a full color print, I need the volume. We need to produce a good number of inserts in one go, and we need the partnership with the game company. So we needed to be established. People needed to see that we were serious about what we were doing, and that people like it, and there's a demand. And so, because they're giving us, after all the images from the game, we get all of the print files, we get the rule books, we get everything, and we use all that to make the color print. But we've got loads to come. I mean, we're working on color inserts for the Garfield Games West Kingdom collector's edition boxes.
Excellent.
So that'll be 3 inserts that we'll release together. We will be doing a full color Gloomhaven insert, which I think is something we haven't talked about before. So this is an exclusive announcement, I guess.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
So we'll be definitely doing that. We've been in touch with Czech Games Edition, so we're going to be doing full color prints for a bunch of their games. And there's just more and more to come. yeah, we're looking now to expand the team and yeah, be able to grab all this opportunity. But it's really
So,
great. I mean, when sorry, go ahead.
So go on, carry on.
No, I was just thinking that when we were at Essen Spiel, one of the things that we did is we made an insert, full color insert for Lacrimosa from De Vere Games. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
It's a big hit at
mhm.
the moment, very popular. And they were selling the game for the first time. And they bought from us a whole palette of the Lacrimosa full color insert to sell with the game. And so basically, De Vere themselves are saying, these are two things you have to have. You don't
Mhm.
have one without the other,
Yeah, it's
sort of thing.
brilliant.
So it's a great position to be in. It's really exciting times for Folded Space. There's a lot of potential, and yeah, we're going to keep going. Yeah, more and more color.
What was your first insert that started the
Uh,
journey?
the first insert I made was for Concordia.
Okay.
I made for my own copy of Concordia out of foam board, and then I made one for Forbidden Stars. I don't know if you play Forbidden Stars.
I haven't, but I know the game.
Mm-mm.
If you, yeah,
It's a
I
lot of
used to play a
bits.
lot of Warhammer. I
Right.
used to play
Yeah.
a lot of 40k and a lot of fantasy, and yeah, Forbidden Stars is something I've played a lot with my brother. So I that's something I've made before Folder Space began, and then those two things turned into Folder Space products once Folder Space started.
It's a fantastic story, particularly hearing about the Essen experience recently. Yeah, having
Yes.
seen
Yeah,
your inserts right at the beginning and how that business has grown. What have you got a
yeah. I
favourite
mean,
insert?
I do. My favorite insert is the one for brass.
Mm,
It's not a color one,
no.
but my objective when we make a design is to do as many things as possible with as least material as possible.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so
Yep.
brass there's two versions of brass. There's Lancashire, there's Birmingham, which are quite different in
Hmm.
certain ways. And both of them have deluxe versions. And so we managed with a very small product, only 4 sheets, packed in tons and tons of pieces, everything. We used almost every square millimeter of this 4 sheets, and we made a product that works in all 4 versions of the game. And that's really what we're
That
trying to do.
is.
And we continue to try to do that with the full color ones,
Hmm.
and then you're delivering a lot of value. And I think that's my favorite, the brass one.
That's really great to hear because we have that insert for Brass Lancashire. I love
Okay,
it, and we need it in color, please.
okay, okay. But you guys, yeah, let's get Roxy Games involved and let's do it. It's a
So
beautiful game. I'd love to do a color.
is color the direction that you're going to go 100%, or are you going to still do the baseline of inserts and the color uh, together?
We're going to do both. I think it would be unusual if we have a game where we have a color and a gray foam one for the
Mm,
same game. But there are a lot of games which we just won't have the volume. There just won't be the demand to justify doing a full
mm,
color print. Because when we go to print, obviously we need the numbers.
Hmm.
So we will continue to do grey ones. There's loads of fantastic games out there that deserve a grey foam. We just did one for Boon Lake,
Yeah.
mhm.
which is an awesome game.
Yeah.
And so that I'm hoping that's going to be a popular product. But yeah, more and more our focus will be on the color. My
Mhm.
idea is to expand the team so we can do more and more color, and we can continue to do 2 or 3 grey ones a month and keep adding to the range.
So you said it's the volume. So is volume and demand the deciding factor on whether to produce a color or a gray insert?
Well, no, the deciding factor is having the partnership with the
The
publisher.
publisher.
It,
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, we haven't turned one away yet. If you have the publisher on your side, then and they're marketing your product for you, which is what we do, uh,
Hmm.
then the numbers will kind of come afterwards. But yeah, I have to have the numbers. But once we got the partnership with the company and they're using their social media to say, check this out, this is cool,
Hmm.
then the numbers will generally come. But yeah,
Is Frosthaven, is that the biggest initial launch in terms of volume of games? Volume of 'cause I think it was 25,000 as the initial launch.
yeah, that's the biggest we've ever done in one go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's and it's the biggest insert we've ever done. It's 13 sheets.
Smashing all
So
the records.
so here's a question: what's the most common mistake that people make when they're assembling your inserts at home that you found?
The most common mistake is to not dry build first. The instructions are very straightforward. They're very similar to instructions people have seen from IKEA and other places. But you can make mistakes here and there. But if you dry build with no glue, dry build everything, and then you can flat pack it and add the glue, flatten it back down, add the glue in lines like it shows on our website, and then just stand the walls back up, and you're good to go. I think the biggest mistake people make is to just pop the pieces out and start gluing them together, and then go, "Oh, hang on a minute, that's wrong."
That's never happened to me.
I think my very first one, I did exactly that, and ever since then,
Yeah, exactly.
dry build first, because I'm picking it's a mess.
I'm wondering if with the color ones, people will get carried away and start just popping stuff out because it looks so good, and forget that step. But yeah, dry building is a key.
It's funny that you had brought up Concordia originally. We got the foam insert from Folded Space for Concordia, and I did that. I just started building and gluing, and then as we got expansions for it, that became a problem, and it's my fault.
Well, the guys in the office always joke with me because when we're making prototypes, we don't have instructions yet. And,
sure.
I get the prototype sheets back, and then I just pop them out and start building stuff. And then I go, "Oh, where does that go?" And the guys say, "Dry build, dry build first, Richard."
It's the number one rule.
Number one rule. You've heard it here: dry build first.
Well, we were talking about wood and foam earlier. What was a driver for foam? Costs or sustainability, or?
The biggest driver is the manufacturing method. We cut our sheets using die cutting, and so we made all those Frosthaven inserts in 3 months. And if you were sitting in the factory watching your laser go around, it's going to take forever. So that was what really made the business make sense. But it made it make sense. That was the tricky bit in the beginning, because it made it make sense in volume. It made it make sense in thousands, not in hundreds or tens. Yeah. And so it was difficult to get the ball rolling. And the first few years was quite hard. We did 3 Kickstarters back to back, and that drove up the numbers. We got a huge amount of interest from distributors, and they started to spread the word and started to get the products out there to retailers. But yeah, it's really that manufacturing method that's fast. It's a proper industrial process, shall we say. And that allows us to distribute to retailers. So nearly 90% of our sales are through retail. Only 10% of our sales are from our website, which is, I think, probably the opposite way around for a lot of the wooden guys.
Yeah, definitely.
So you were talking about some expansion. You're obviously expanding into color. Does your company, are you at a position where you have any plans for future expansion in either the United Kingdom, where Gareth is, or the United States, where I am?
You mean in terms of manufacturing? Or?
Manufacturing, offices, storage, just in general.
In terms of retail, we're already there. We work with Spiral Galaxy in the UK. Right. We work with ACD in the US. Of course, ACD have been awesome. Spiral Galaxy are just fantastic. And so we've got the retail reach. The thing that we're doing more and more is exhibitions. So come into exhibitions, presenting our stuff, and getting people to see it and be able to buy it in person. So one of the very exciting things for us now is in December we'll be at PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia. So that's the first time we've done a US con. And yeah, we're all super excited to go. Everyone says it's a brilliant event. We're going to meet a ton of people. We've got lots of things planned, so that's going to be great. And to get that, because of our material, getting people to hold it, to touch it, they always come by and squeeze it, and they go, "Oh, this is really nice. This is really cool." I knew it was very affordable. It was a good price, but I didn't know it was so good. And so exhibitions are important. So we hope to do more. We'll definitely be at Gen Con next year. We'll do PAX Unplugged again next year. We do UKGE. So we've been twice to UKGE. We'll go to UKGE next year. We've already booked our stand. And yeah, getting the word out there, more and more people to see Folded Space.
Are there any plans to be at Origins next year as well?
I'd love to do Origins. It's tricky because I think it's the week after or 2 weeks after UKGE, and
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
makes it
it's really
very
close.
hard. Yeah, it makes it really difficult to do for us. I know some companies do it. We're not big enough yet to have two teams for that kind of event. Maybe in the future, I'd love to do Origins. Gen Con is the one we're
Right.
gonna focus on. We will have a stand with Cephalofair. We're looking to have a stand with Miniature
Hmm.
Market, and we hope to
Mhm.
get a stand of our own to get good presence at Gen Con. But Gen Con would be great. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing like being able to come to your booth or go into a store and like hold the product in your hand before purchasing it. Um, that's huge. And
Yeah.
my local game stores has started like regularly carrying your product so that I don't have to go to your website and wait and things like I can go and touch it and go home and build it, and that's really huge. And I know a lot of our American listeners really want to see more of that. So I'm excited that you're going to be at PAX. We're talking about going just because you're going to be there because
Okay. Awesome.
you,
That'd be
you,
great to meet there. Yeah.
I don't normally go to PAX, but your presence is like, oh, I got to find a way to go. Just so.
I think PAX is going to
How
be
many
really
inserts have
great
you got,
because of
PJ?
Cephalofair too.
What's that?
Cephalofair are going to be there with a huge presence, so there's going to be massive Frosthaven presence at PAX. Probably the first place where you can really play it, see it, and I think you're going to be able to buy the game there. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be an
Right. Okay.
exciting event.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's huge. That's a big end. PJ,
people
how
have
many
been
have you
waiting.
got?
Yeah.
How many folding space inserts have you got, PJ? Sounds like
Um,
you have a lot.
we do have a lot of them. I do prefer them over other inserts. I think we have 6. And we got the color insert for Dinosaur World just before you came on,
Mm.
Richard.
Yeah.
I was showing it to Gareth. I'm like, this is so amazing, so amazing. Speaking of which, on your website, anyone can go to your website, and there's a place for them to put in their own personal recommendations for games that they would like to see you make an insert for. Um, how much influence does that have on you and your team?
It has a lot of influence. That and social media correspondence, people sending us messages, people sending us from. We have a contact us page on the website. People also send us suggestions there. People give us loads of suggestions at
Hmm.
exhibitions, cons when we go. Every time we go to an exhibition, we have a suggestion board. So people write up on the board, we want this, we want this, we want this. And so, yeah, it has a big impact. It gives us a chance to see what's in demand, what people are looking for. There's always games that we haven't thought of ourselves, though the guys in the office and myself, we together we do have quite a broad scope in checking the market out. But yeah, it's always useful to see what people want.
And they're anonymous too, right?
Yeah, those are anonymous. Yeah, if you contact us via social media or email, that's different. But yeah, the survey on the website
Hmm.
is anonymous.
Good, because there's an insert I want, and I go to your website like every other day, and I type in the
All
same game just to generate
right.
volume.
Okay,
What is the most
that's
what
love.
is the most popular game requested that you haven't made? What will be the top of
It
the list of one
varies.
that
It
people asked for that
changes.
hasn't?
Well, one interesting one I think was Ankh. A lot of people asked for Ankh, and I made 2 prototypes, 3 actually. We did a lot of work to do it, and I couldn't get a product that I was happy with. It
Mm.
just didn't work. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
The miniatures made it too hard, and it basically ended up being a bunch of big boxes where you chuck all the minis in together, and it didn't make
Hmm.
sense. But so that one we didn't do. Boone Lake that we're doing now has come from suggestions.
Hmm.
We did Bonfire based on suggestions from people.
Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, there's loads of them that we've done based on that. Trying to think of others recently. Blood Rage. Blood Rage. I was
Oh,
reluctant to do Blood Rage
That's
for
a
a
good
long
one.
time because I basically had migraines for a month after doing Rising Sun. and so I avoided doing Blood Rage. But there was so many people asking for it, so much demand, so we did it. It took a lot of time, and I think the design is really good. So that's one we did based on
So the
feedback.
takeaway is go to the website, put in the games that you want to see, and they might pop up. So I think
Exactly.
that's
Yeah. You're not. Yeah.
so. I want to ask you really quickly while we still got a little bit of time. I want to ask about your folded space home line,
Hmm.
which is kind of interesting. Because you're like making like cups and other like home things. Can you tell us more about that line and how that came together?
Well, I guess that started with our amazing insert 3 years ago that we did for the game Coup. That was proved very popular. On April 1st of 2020, we released an insert for Coup. It was a half sheet insert, very small, very compact. And then
Hmm.
last year, again, just by coincidence, on April 1st, we released an insert for which called FS1, which is just one big tray that fits any 30 by 30 by 7 box and can store the whole game inside. That was a remarkable product. We actually received a number of orders from
Did
distributors for
you?
that product.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
quite interesting. And then each year we try and up the ante and go one step further. And this year, I think we did manage to take it another step with the FS home range. And I don't know if you saw the video, but the idea that we would then go along and make a barbecue out of our material. So yeah. So wait for next year. 1st of April is a good time to check out our social media platform because we've got very big plans for next year.
Amazing.
Something that'll
Okay.
blow people's minds. Yeah.
All right.
No,
Do you have any
gorgeous.
other new products that are coming down the pipeline that you're personally excited about that I think our listeners would be really excited to hear about as well?
Well, I'm really excited by the West Kingdom. I mean, we already have inserts for the smaller boxes of the West Kingdom
Mhm.
series, and we were, I think, I think we contacted Garfield Games,
Hmm.
and they said, "Well, we got to talk to Shem. We've got to talk to
Hmm.
Shem Phillips." And then Shem Phillips says, "Oh, folded space, yeah, let's do it." And so then it was great. And so now we're doing three inserts, which we plan to release together in December. All will be full color designs, and they'll fit the collector's edition boxes. Because the inserts, the plastic ones in those boxes, are not the best, shall we say? And so I think this will add a lot of value. And being full color again, everything else. I think that's the biggest thing on the immediate horizon. And then, of course, we're just beginning work on full color Gloomhaven. That would probably come beginning of next year.
That is awesome. I have to say there are games where my wife and I were considering, oh, this game looks really interesting, and then, for example, Lacrimosa and Bitoku, we see that you have color inserts for them, and they've been deciding factors. It's like, oh, well, folded space has colored inserts.
Yeah, this
It,
must be
it
a serious game.
so so sometimes your inserts are deciding factors on gamers purchasing a game because your product exists in the color line. It's amazing.
I met a very nice lady in Germany when we were in Essenspiel, and she said that she has a rule that she will not buy inserts for games that she does not own. And she only has 5 times where she broke that. She broke that rule. And she's bought inserts for games that she's going to buy in the future because she's got the folder space insert. So it's really cool. Yeah,
I've heard that before. I think
it's
on
really
on
great.
my Instagram show, somebody said they were basically, yeah, but like you said, PJ, collecting the inserts
Hmm.
for the games they wanted to get because they grabbed
Oh
them
yeah,
from like from an expo or somewhere like the UK Games Expo. They grabbed those and then got the games afterwards, which is crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you see them all lined up, you're like, yeah, I'll have that one, particularly if they haven't got access to online shopping or other things.
It'll be
Yep.
very interesting at PAX Unplugged to see because
Yeah,
consumer habits in the US are slightly different to Germany. We'll see. We're going to try and have as much stock as we can. We're going to bring a lot of stuff, and hopefully we can, everything that people want, we'll have there at the stand. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting to interact with the US gamers when we're there.
we're an intense bunch.
Yeah, the guys from Seppel Fair warned me it would be a different experience.
Yes, I imagine it will be.
I'm super keen to come though, and to visit Philadelphia. How cool is that? That's going to be brilliant.
That'll be awesome. You will have a good time. I hope I can make it. It is a 12-hour drive from where I am.
Wow.
So yeah,
Direct.
so
That's pretty. Yeah,
it's
it's commitment.
it's very challenging. When I talk to Gareth, I always forget how big this country really is, Um,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
I'm reminded all the time, and I'm like, oh man.
I
So
think like UK Games Expo for most of us is between 2 and maybe 3 hours max from north to south.
Yep.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
There's
very
no,
good location for that. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. I've been fantastic listening and talking to you, Richard. It really has been, particularly the Frosthaven stuff. I cannot wait to see that in the flesh,
yep.
and look forward to seeing or hearing about PAX as well.
Yep.
Yeah, no, thanks a lot. It's been great to talk to you guys. It's really keen to thanks for. It's really great to share the word, reach out to more and more people. We're super excited and enthusiastic by what we do, and to get the chance to share that with other people is fantastic.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for taking your time and your patience with us and setting all this up. And we're just really glad you were able to meet with us today and be our very first guest. So thank you again, Richard. We really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
It's
I'm
great.
honored. Thanks a lot. It's good talking
Thank
to you
you.
guys.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers. Bye bye.